Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start the third chapter, that is fractions. This is the first video of your third chapter. In this video, you all will learn about the definition of fractions, the way to represent fraction, and the types of fractions. So, first of all, let's see the definition of the fraction. A fraction is a part of a whole or one. It represents one or more than one part of a whole. So, when any whole object is divided into two or more than two equal parts, then each part of the whole is treated as a fraction. Now, let's understand this definition with the help of an example. As you all can see here that there is a rectangular object. So if we divide this rectangular block in two equal parts like part 1 and part 2, then both of these parts will be called as a fraction of this whole part. So now let's see this definition with the help of one more example. Now assume this circle as a whole object, and when we divide this circle in four equal parts, then each part of the circle will be called as a fraction, and the value of each fraction will be 1 by 4, and it can also be called as a quarter of the whole. Now let's move forward and see how a fraction is represented. So a fraction is always represented in the form of numerator upon denominator. See here, this is a dividing line and numerator always lies above this dividing line and the denominator always lying below this dividing line. Now let's see what is numerator and what is denominator. So numerator are the parts being talked about, and the denominator is the total number of equal parts. For example, 2 upon 4, 5 by 6, 3 by 8. So here in the first example, 2 by 4, 2 is the numerator and 4 is the denominator. In the second example, 5 is the numerator and 6 is the denominator. And in the last, 3 is the numerator and 8 is the denominator. Now we will see how to represent a fraction in the form of numerator upon denominator with the help of some examples. Now you all can see some figures on your screen. So look at the first picture. Can you all count in how many equal parts is the whole object divided? So you all can count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the total number of parts are 7. So the denominator for this object will be 7. And now we will count the shaded part, or the parts that are being talked about. So the total number of shaded parts here are 1, 2 and 3. So the numerator will be 3 and the denominator will be the total number of parts, that will be 7. Now look at the second figure. In this figure, the total number of equal parts are 1 and 2. So the denominator will be 2 and the number of shaded part is only 1. So the fraction of the shaded part of this picture will be 1 by 2. And now look at the last picture. Here the last picture is divided into 4 equal parts. So the denominator will be 4 and the number of shaded part here is 3. 1, 2 and 3. So the numerator will be 3 and the denominator will be 4. So the fraction for the shaded part will be 3 by 4. Now let's understand about the equivalent fractions. Those fractions which have the same value even though numerators and denominators are different, then those fractions are called equivalent fractions. Like you all can see in the example here, 1 by 2, 2 by 4, 3 by 6, 4 by 8 and 5 by 10. Here the numerator and denominator of each fraction is different, but when we simplify each example, then we will get the value 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 is equal to 2 by 4 is equal to 3 by 6 is equal to 4 by 8 and that is also equal to 5 by 10. Now you all should also learn how to form equivalent fraction. So to form equivalent fraction, what we can do is we can just multiply or divide both numerator or denominator with the same number. We will see this in exercise 3.2. So now let's move forward and learn about types of fractions. There are 5 types of fractions. The first type is like fractions. So the fractions having the same denominators are called like fractions. For example, 2 by 5, 3 by 5 and 1 by 5. As you all can see here, the denominator of each fraction is same, that is 5. So these kinds of fractions are called like fractions. Unlike fractions, those fractions having different denominators are called unlike fractions. For example, 2 by 7, 6 by 9 and 5 by 8. So here the denominators are 7, 9 and 8 and these are different from each other. That's why this set of fraction will be called as unlike fractions. Unit fraction. The fraction with numerator 1 is called unit fraction. So you can see here in the example 1 by 4 and 1 by 8. So the value of numerator here is 1. So this is called as unit fraction. Proper fraction. A fraction whose numerator is smaller than denominator is called proper fraction. Now you all can understand this with the help of these given examples. 2 by 8, 6 by 9 and 7 by 9. You all can compare the numerator with the denominator. Here the numerator is 2 and the denominator is 8. So 2 is smaller than 8. So this is a proper fraction. Now let's see the second example. 6 by 9. So 6 is also smaller than 9. So this is also a proper fraction. And the last example 7 by 9. The 7 is numerator here, that is smaller than the denominator, that is 9. So this is also a proper fraction. Improper fraction. A fraction whose numerator is greater than or equal to denominator is called improper fraction. For example, 7 by 5. Here 7 is numerator and it is greater than the denominator, that is 5. So this is an improper fraction. Now let's see the second example, that is 8 by 4. Here 8 is also greater than 4. So this is also an improper fraction. And the last 3 by 1. Here also the numerator is greater than the denominator. So this is also an improper fraction. So that's all for today. In our next video, we will learn how to compare like fractions, addition of fractions and subtraction of the fractions.